Hi there YouTubers, James back again. You join me in the stupendous surroundings that is my shed, yes, there's all sorts in the background there just to keep you amused whilst I ramble on as usual. So just one or two things I'd like to just discuss and get off my chest and sort of blurt on about a bit. I like a match. I like a Swan Vestas match, in fact. We all know what they look like. Possibly one of the most well-known matches, I would imagine. Most people, I would imagine, would have heard of Swan Vestas, in fact. So imagine my complete dismay and distress when I frequented my local cooperative store, where I fairly frequently purchase said matches, and found not only did the person on the checkout not know what they were, but also that after a great deal of sort of shuffling about and calling other assistants and all sorts of messing about, to be told that they hadn't got any anyway. So you know, I wasn't very impressed with that, and you would have thought that, you know, a box of Swan Vestas, quite a basic thing, but no, it caused great mystery. So yeah, I was offered a huge box of the cooking safety matches, and it's not quite the same. So unfortunately, one of my most trusted local outlets has let me down, so that's rather disappointing. So I thought to myself, well, this is also the outlet that happens to supply me with delicious St. Bruno from time to time. In fact, I think it's the only thing they sell in terms of pipe tobacco. So I thought, well, perhaps more to inquire about that. And luckily, they do in fact still stock a little bit of St. Bruno. I think they may have had it for some time, but it seems to be okay. So yes, I think this is evidence to suggest that, again, a very traditional item that you would imagine you could find pretty much anywhere seems to be disappearing. Now, I don't know if anybody else is noticing this. I'm sure it's not on the top agenda for everybody, but yes, I was quite dismayed. Firstly, that somebody wasn't quite sure what Swan Vestas were. I think probably unless I'm not being very clear, perhaps they thought I was talking about string vests or something about swans, but you know, I think it's a fair bet that most people should know what a Swan Vestas is. So yeah, and I think what this is in fact, now if these poor people that work behind these checkouts, if they could see what they were selling, that might help a great deal, and if they could get to know what they were offering for sale behind the special shutters, that would be quite useful, I think, and they might, if they actually did have Swan Vestas, they might even be able to know where they were. And I think the poor old St. Bruno is relegated to a small drawer right at the bottom of the hidden tobacco. So yeah, that was just a minor thing, probably sound like a bit of an old fool, but you know, I just want some Swan Vestas matches. It's quite simple, and I had great faith in our cooperative, and I knew that things might be heading towards that sort of ilk when they had a sort of a refit and a slipstream new sort of design, and in fact it's very tidy, it's very nice, very modern. if you like that kind of thing, and you know, it's fine. But the only thing is, of course, I can't find anything, and I suspect that there is in fact less on offer, especially in terms of Swan, Vestas and some Bruno. And in fact, you know, it would be splendid to think that you could get some of the over-the-counter blends there. The town where I live, in fact, is it is a cooperative town. We have one large supermarket style co-op and one other which is just a sort of a stays open later, and they seem to stock St Bruno as well for the time being. So just about got a local supply of something, but I am concerned that that's disappearing. So I was just wondering if anybody else was suffering these horrific findings. You think you've got something quite you know, regular and something you can depend on, and it seems to be disappearing. So which leads me on to a topic again which it's been discussed elsewhere, but I just feel that this is also an indication as to you know, the shift away from anything to do with smoking. It's obvious that, you know, people seem to give it a lot of people give it a wide berth entirely and dismiss any form of you know, enjoyment of tobacco as, you know, something that really they shouldn't be getting involved with, but which is a terrible shame. I mean, what else, you know, can we see the demise of being able to buy, you know, perhaps a bottle of brandy or something like that? I mean, is that not, you know, a similar thing, even if it's used inappropriately, and you know, we all know the effects. So it just seems so ridiculous to me that you know, we can't, well, for a start, we can't look at what's available in terms of tobacco. It's assumed that nobody smokes pipes anymore. It's assumed that nobody wants to invest in matches anymore. So it's almost, you know, it's just such a shame, and it indicates to me, you know, that I think it's a whole little sort of world which, in fact, there can be benefits had. It seems to be diminishing. That is to say, of course, the glimmer of hope is, of course, YouTube and the community supporting pipe smoking, cigar smoking, and a growing number of people doing vapors, the electronic cigarettes and all sorts of things like that too. Not really up my street. I haven't tried any kind of sort of a synthetic cigarette or whatever, but I don't think it's for me. In any case, we have a good following on YouTube, especially pipe community, and that is something I think which is a great achievement. But I just feel that people miss out. It sounds horrific to say that. So most people would be outraged if you suggested to them, perhaps you ought to try smoking a pipe to relax, for example. I would say that, generally speaking, many people seem to be stressed these days, and perhaps, you know, a few, you know, a little bit of time devoted to enjoying a tasty bit of tobacco in the evenings would do people the power of good. So indeed, I think really it's a little of what you fancy can't harm you. I think that's a very fair statement. This is very much a principle that I like to go by, and as of yet, it doesn't seem to have been a problem. It's worked out well for me. I say I like to enjoy my pipe smoking. I enjoy food. I enjoy a little bit of tipple now and again. I enjoy tea. I enjoy, you know, I enjoy cycling. I enjoy driving old cars. I enjoy lots of things, and you can never remove the risk from these things. But you enjoy them carefully and as best as you can. But I think it's a shame that things are dismissed because you know, they're all, especially with smoking. Obviously, again, it's been said many a time, but all kinds of smoking seems to be sort of put into one big pot, and it is a shame because I think it can be enjoyed responsibly, and I think it's a shame that probably a lot of youngsters, especially, you know, they might have a shady cigarette, you know, around the back of a bike shed, if in fact they've got bike sheds or in schools or wherever. But you know, yes, that's a fairly, you know, extreme way of smoking, the most direct way of smoking, I would hazard to say. But you know, it's I'm not saying that you know, if you're underage, obviously you shouldn't be getting into trying tobaccos, obviously. But I think that perhaps, you know, somebody who is 18 and who is you know, looking to enjoy smoking, it's, you know, I don't see anything wrong with enjoying just a little bit here and there, and I don't think you have to become addicted. I smoke a pipe, maybe smoke perhaps a bowl a day at maximum, down to time restraints. But I can not smoke anything for maybe 2 weeks. It sounds easy for me to say, I'm sure, but anyway, my general point, and this has in fact turned into a rant, I'm afraid, but obviously the point I'm making is that I think, again, just a small amount is you know, I don't think is going to lead to anything disastrous. And I think you know, especially for a man, I think it's a little bit of an intrepid thing. People now seem to do it. Everything seems to be having the risk removed from it as much as possible. And yes, we want to be safe. We want to live longer. We want to, you know, we don't want to harm ourselves, obviously. But you can't remove all risks. So there we are. I shan't ramble on any more about that. That is my little rant. I'm sure it's very controversial in certain circles, but I just think that there are far worse things you could be getting up to, and I think pipe smoking is amongst, well, I think it is, I would go as far as to say that it is the best way to enjoy a good quality, delicious tobacco. And I think, well, I'd like to think a lot of people might agree with that. So that's that. I'm just going to light this up again. Bear with me a moment. I've got some Condor Long Cut in here, and it's a very nice evening smoke. I'm not a match purist, but I do like the Swan Vestas. I love the box, the classic bit of design. Other matches are available, but yeah, it's a lovely, nice box design, and should be recognised by just about everybody, I would say. Nice complementary colours, nice lettering, very clear. You know, it's just a great piece of packaging design. hopefully my local co-op will be getting some more in. I hope it was just a glitch in the supply. Something about the way they strike, and they seem to be fairly reliable, other than in extremely windy conditions, obviously. But there we are. Gosh. Well, I don't think I'm going to linger very much longer and take up your time with any more of my rants. So I shall leave you, and as usual, keep buffing the pipes, keep the cameras rolling. Cheerio, folks.